So I always have these ideas of like, why do people do certain things in the office and how does it pay off? So, number one, I created the She Report because I wanted everybody to be a part of this collective action of helping people navigate the office. You know, letting people learn like what does it take to be a team member? What does it take to be a team, whatever manager, if that's your goal, or program manager, and all the things. So I think that we just walk in here untrained, and that's why we have all these residual issues or existential issues. But so it just come to my attention that people are more focused on being liked than being respected, right? So, and not only that, but it's about being liked, being respected, and having subject matter expertise. There are a lot of people who are in corporations who are part of these large firms and they have no experience. They got the job because somebody thought that they were cool enough to get it. Not only that, but they got the job because somebody was like, hey, my son, brother, cousin needs a job and he could really be an asset to this company or to this whatever. But it never really matches like exactly what they said. Like they don't really do. Because when you work with them, you find out that ain't nothing going on up here. Nothing. And then some cases they hire really good people who are just knowledgeable and who are great team leads or who are great leaders, great everything. Sometimes, right? But so I had this epiphany and I was kind of like, you know, what's more important to me? Is it important for me to be liked or is it important for me to be respected? The reason why I had this conversation was because I was like, I have really tailored my career around trying to be liked. And if you know anything about being liked, just know that people change how they feel about you every day. Like, you can just walk in funny, your hair can be different, you act different, you can change. People just change like over time. Like there's some people that be like, you know, I don't care what you do, I'm never gonna like you. Like that's just that's just a matter of fact. Like you're not like them and they're not like you and you're just not gonna fit in. And so I try to debunk this whole idea of when you start working in corporate America or in your corporate jobs, the first thing you should do is understand the environment, understand the culture. That's the number one thing. If you want to have influence and that your goal is to go that direction, then you're going to have to know the culture and you're going to have to be very friendly with people. Okay? One of the biggest things about influence is people who have great influence are relatable, number one, but they're not just relatable, but they're relevant. And so they may try to do things to kind of make you feel comfortable with them and all the things, but that's just kind of how influence works. Like you don't want to be friends with somebody whom you don't like, right? So there's this whole thing about, okay, so if you want influence, you have to be funny, number one. That's number one. And you have to be liked. It's important to know before you start working in corporate America, who do you want to influence and who do you want to like you? First thing first, okay? Now, if you want upward mobility, you want to go up, you have to have influence, you have to be liked, right? But the people that you want to like you and that you want, you know, to be able to influence are your higher ups. You want them to be able to say, hey, so and so Jasmine did a really good job on this project. I'd like to bring her on to do this project with me if you're open. And then sometimes I'm going to give this particular person a bonus and because they did such a great job on this project. Or sometimes it's just I like this person's personality. They get a lot of, you know, accolades for the things that they do. All those things play a part in corporate politics. Okay, that's the game. The game is about being liked, being relevant, and being relatable. So if your higher ups like you enough, when it's time for promotions or they have different job openings that come open on their projects, you're the first person that they call. Like that's how it goes. Like, you think that everyone has equal opportunity because they put in a resume. That is not the same. There are people who are competing on the outside as well as the inside. There are people who already have internal knowledge of different things that you're competing with. There are times when people do hire outside. Most times people hire outside talent and bring them in because they want a different feel. They want a fresh set of eyes on a different project or something that they do. When it's internal, it's somebody who's already shown, that they have the acumen and they have the skills to be able to do this job. So when you're thinking about whether or not you want influence or not, because sometimes people just want to come to work. They don't want to be worried about all the other things. You just want to do your job. You want to go in and you want to do your job and you want to clock out, while other people have aspirations of ascending. And so if you have aspirations of growing in a company, the first thing you need to do is develop your influence. Influence is so important. In this case, it's not that important to be respected, unfortunately. You want to have influence, and influence is, do they like you? You don't have to know how to do the job. You just want to know if they like you. If you're someone who doesn't really have an idea or a plan to go upward, then maybe influence is not your thing and you just want to focus on being respected. And so you work really hard, make sure your work is top tier so nobody can disrespect you, right? And you develop yourself as being a senior or an expert in that field, because that is what garners respect. And I want to give you a newsflash. Newsflash is, you don't have to know your job to be a boss. You just need to know how to manage. And guess what? You don't even have to do that. Again, you just have to be liked. So in this case, I always offer this back to you. What's more important, to be liked or to be respected? Thank you for tuning into the She Report. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow. And make sure you share this with a friend. Bye, y'all.